Monsters crashed the party, turning the world into a chaotic dumpster fire of despair. Humans scrapped like wild cats, refusing to quit, holding on to hope like the last slice of pizza to save their turf. Leading the charge was our main guy, the absolute unicarcelian, Luvan. This bro didn't just fight monsters, he owned them, shredded them like they were wet tissue paper. Years flew by and he's still yeeting baddies, stacking bodies like Lego bricks. Just one sword and zero fear in his veins. Then he faced the final boss, Aaron's Megevil twin or something. Dude was tougher than old jerky and annoying as a roach. Wouldn't croak, it was messy, but Van finally stomped that piece of trash. For good. Game over. But Van logged off permanently too. Fate, being a total troll, wasn't done messing with him yet. Floating in the void, he bumps into some random NPC-looking kid from Earth. The kid's name was Dojin. Poor guy was basically pressing in-game already. Before checking out, he had a tiny favor to ask Van. Van was like, nope, cutting him off instantly. Bro just wanted to rage quit, life in peace. He lost his kingdom, his crew, and literally went through hell. He was so done with this nonsense. But Dojan wasn't begging for himself, just wanted his fam safe. That actually hit him right in the feels. Van sighed and listened. The kid lit up like he just won the lottery. He hyped himself up and asked Van to guard his squad. And shocker, our grumpy battle. Hardened warrior actually said, "You swiled, right?" Boom. Van wakes up on Earth in Dojan's teen body. Mission, start. First stop, Namsen Gate, a Sarank dungeon. Only pro heroes allowed, obviously. The gatebot kept screaming for ID he didn't have. Did he care? Hard pass. He smashed through the entrance like it was cardboard. Sirens went nuts, screaming intruder alert. Inside, he strolled around looking for things to punch. Then he bumped into some legit heroes with They thought he was just some lost noob and offered to walk him out since they were leaving. But Dojin stayed silent, acting super creepy. Even the pros sensed his vibe was totally weird. Dressed like a rondo fresh from a snack run, not a hero. Yeah, porters dressed chill, but still. This fit was basic, and his bag looked super sus. Maybe he was a porter who got ghosted by his team. But the vibes were totally off. Finally, Dojin piped up. He straight up said why it was awkward but clarified. He wasn't rolling with the squad. Dude literally strolled in solo. One hero sighed, finally getting the lowdown on the situation. Seen tons of noobs, hyped on anime thinking their main characters instantly. Those types, they yeeted in dungeons face first, running on pure delusion and energy drinks. But reality hits different. When full NPC mode explaining you need permits and training before entering legally. Plus, this wasn't some tutorial zone. It was a legit C-rank gate. Rookies gotta grind to Frank or get absolutely wrecked. While bro kept yapping unsolicited advice, Dojin just said, didn't ask. That silenced the chat instantly. Obviously, the heroes stood there, totally shook. Floored by this rando's icy vibe, they were just trying to be nice. But this kid, zero, chill. Some got salty, ready to throw hands, but Bossman said, chill. If the brat wants to solo, whatever, let him cook. Figured this cocky kid would find out soon enough. Gates aren't some Netflix show where you win and flex effortlessly. Nah, this is IRL, and it'll delete him before he even lags. Then, Dojin bumps into a massive troll eyeing him like a forbidden snack. Monster swings but whiffs so hard it just wrecks the floor. Bro's speed is troll couldn't even process the lag. Instantly Dojin clenches his fist and lands a haymaker on the beast smug, yeeting its head like a straight-up One-Punch Man scene. Yeah, that ugly thing got deleted in one tap. Now that the mob is down, it's loot time. Loot drop. First, Dojin yoinks the sword that Dumtro had. Then, super casually, he stabs the corpse to dig out a shiny little gem. Turns out, it's just a trash tier magic stone. So mid that past life, Dojin wouldn't even glance at it, but bro is broke. Beggars can't be choosers. Suddenly, more mobs aggro, clearly salty about their buddy getting decapitated. Dojin doesn't even flinch. He casually eats that trash gem like a baseball. It snipes a skull, sending the head flying like a rocket. The other two dummies rush him like they want to die. Guess what? Dojin's happy to oblige while serving them a full beat. Cut back to the hero squad, still walking through this hellhole. They're all still dwelling on that mystery kid they met earlier. Ginger girl stressing, bettin' Dojin is already toasted. Somewhere, but the squad lead's like, nah, impossible fam. If he was some random unauthorized weirdo creeping the gate, security would have clapped him by now. Those gate cops are rated B rank or higher, easy. And since this dungeon's a baby C rank, he ain't dying. Unless he tries to solo the boss, he's Gucci. Even Baldy agrees. Figuring the rookie is probably wetting his pants, hiding, and begging for a rescue. Why? EAAH. Psych. Reality hit different. Dojin's actually making these meat sacks soil their armor. One tap. Sleep. They can't touch him, let alone squish him. Dude's glitching around like a ghost, spawning behind a mob and kicking its head off like a popped balloon. With the trash mobs deleted, Dojan grabs a blade and loots the magic stones solo. Bag full of newbie loot. He's ready to dip. Honestly though, he's mad salty. The grind was basically hauling trash rocks. Total waste. Suddenly, a Fed spots him and flags down the squad. Before Dojan can pivot, these suits are mean mugging him. They announce themselves as gate control and demand his hero license. Stat, no ID. Then he's getting dragged downtown, politely or not. Dojan's not vibing with this drama, and his pause makes the suits extra twitchy. They go full robot, barking about standard protocol. All they get is Dojan's burr face, looking like he's fresh out of patience for this nonsense. Seriously, it's a vibe kill. He just spins to leave. That's when Mr. Ego decides to get grabby. Snags Dojan's wrist, threatening injury. Rhesus, saying it's on him if things get messy, trying to guilt trip him into a bang. Big mistake. Dojan yanks free and drops a cold line. Quit blocking my path, NPC. That one sentence freezes the dude solid. Of course, the other two idiots pull their magic sticks. Great for wands, heavy hitters against orcs, but against him, toothpicks. With 0 cares left, Dojan twists the grabby guy's arm till he squeaks. Then he drops the final ultimatum. Scram before you lose what's left of your rep. But these tryhards don't quit. They swing their sticks. Dojan wrecks him instantly, landing in nasty. One-shotted a dude from behind, then gut-checked another. Only Specs is left, shaking like a total noob. Sensing the yell, Dojan suddenly ghosts him. Bro panics hard seeing his target glitch out of existence. Just when he's losing it, Dojan respawns and punches his gut. Folded him. Dojan is so over these clingy agent creeps, he's actually low-key, thinking of going pro just to dodge this drama. Wheezing, the suit swears that if he isn't acting sus, feds won't chase him again. Dojan asks about rifts, leaving the guy shook. TL, Dr. On the Wall lore. Portals are everywhere, linking to a creepypasta world full of mobs. These spawn points are basically all over. Slay mobs, loot gems, boom ultimate energy. Obviously, that loot, crazy expensive, so the gov, hogs, the portals, gov-approved zones, are gates, but the wild PvP zones, those are rifts. Back to Dojan raging at these stalker NPC. Every gate he enters, these suits pull up, flagging him for trespassing. Sweaty agent explains that the second Arondo enters a gate, uninvited. System snitches and mods rush to ban them. Seeing Dojan wants a rift, he warns, it's hardcore mode. Getting caught, RIP, no chat, just instant ban hammer. Dojan gives 0 cares about the lecture. Silent, he phase grabs the guy and yeets him. Agent regrets not spamming ping for help. Way above his pay grade, arms totally wrecked. Guy screams useless threats about jail time. Cut to the tech complex in the junction. Everyone calls it the Hero Complex now. It's the main trade hub. Stones, loot, whatever. Biz is popping off. Dojan walks into a shop to pawn some stones. Walks in on a zoomer, glued to his screen. Doom scrolling insta-reels like a zombie. Dojan says he's selling, and the owner goes full hype beast, claiming they pay top dollar. Dojan is Bro casually dumps a pile of slime-covered gems onto the glass. The shop owner's face instantly morphs into a prune. He is not vibing with the monster goo everywhere. But hey, cash is king, right? So he swallows the urge to barf and starts processing the loot. Offers Dojan some joe while he scrubs the rocks. Fast forward a sec. Our boys chilling with a latte, watching the dude sponge off the gross bits. Once they're sparkly, Mr. Shopkeeper runs the numbers. 12 low tier, 16 mids, and 5 mixed highs and lows. But after chopping off a savage 40% tax, the total comes to about 5.5 million. 1. Dojan looks ready to rage quit life. 40%. For real. He's the one fighting beasts. And this leech wants half the pie. Total scam alert. The owner just smirks, claiming he's practically a saint. Says others swipe 45%. Tells Dojan to wah if he's salty. Claims no one else has better rates. Dojan isn't eating that baloney. He starts bagging his loot. Done with this clown's nonsense. Realizing the con failed, the merchant panics. Grabs Dojan's arm, screaming about fees for the appraisal and drink. Starts rattling off costs like a receipt from hell. 30,000 for looking, 10,000 for the brew. Plus, the premium towel he's stained cleaning the gore. Demands 350,000 total. Absolute insanity. Dojan stands there like a brick wall. Just dead-eyes the guy. Totally unimpressed. The owner snaps, dropping the act to play gangster. Tries to flex, bragging about his high-level bouncers. Cue the meatheads crashing through the back, looking for trouble. Fists clenched, ready to rumble. Dojan keeps his cool, shooting a glare that could slice steel. Staring contest of the century. Neither blinks. Jump cut to the manager. A few minutes later, Mr. Big Shot is suddenly looking real small. sweating buckets, terrified. Kazojan folded his squat like laundry. Wrecked those giants, without even breathing hard. Guess we know who the real boss is. Dojan leans in and sets the new tax rate. 1%. No arguments. You don't debate a guy with laser eyes. Transaction approved. Dojin leaves with a thick brick of cash, paid by the punch. Back at the crib, Gran and Lil Sis freak out over the mountain of dough. Gran squinting, convinced he printed it himself. Dojan just shrugs, dropping the oldest excuse ever. Loaned a homie some cash, and his biz went to the moon. Gran ain't buying it. You? With friends. Since when? Dojin keeps a poker face. Day one, bestie Gran, swear. Eventually, Gran quits the interrogation. Good enough. Meanwhile, Lil Sis is basically radiating pure hype. Grinning mad hard. Casabro just secured the bag. Total softy, Dojan pats her head, hyping the glam life. Kids literally vibrating at the thought of being loaded. Seeing her spaz out hits, Dojan right in the feels. Deep. He's actually checking boxers on that big promise. Can't forget it. Crystal clear. OG owner's dying wish. Keep Gran and Sis safe and happy. Poor guy ghosted before Dojin could even say sup. Next thing, boom, he's piloting SEO Dojin's meat suit. New main quest, protect the fam and get them living large. Step 1. Snag the absolute safest crib in Korea. Price tag, a brain-melting 110 billion won. Cash ain't the issue. Once his OP powers return, he's set. This server ain't much different from his spawn point. The deleted world, mobs and rifts, here are total jokes. Weak sauce compared to the nightmares he used to solo. To a literal sword, God, this place is basically baby mode. Heck, he's barely using 10% of his juice. Knock knock, someone wants Dojin. He rolls up to answer. And surprise, surprise, two sketchy goons, straight out of a bad mob movie. Here for 48 million won, definitely loan sharks. Scumbags, the OG Dojin borrowed from before he died. The gag, he only borrowed 5 million 4 grand's meds. But thanks to vampiric interest rates, these ... Greedy pigs want 10 times that. Been stalking him too. Saw him looting gates and pointed at their shady fine print. Dojan skips paying and feeds the big guy a knuckle sandwich. One tap and the pour. Dude goes yeet, landing like a sack of potatoes. Scrawny sidekick just stands there, jaw dropped. Wetting himself, Dojin hits him with a glare, sharp enough to cut. Glass. Yo, check the math. We've paid 9 million already. Real talk, you clowns. Owe me interest. No. Then, wham. Another love tap. Stick figure is bawling. Dojan leans in, ice cold. Tell boss man ... I am coming to wreck him. Cut to a mall that's absolutely popping with people, and there's Yoon totally vibing in a teddy bear shop. Dojin dragged her out to absolutely wreck his credit card today. Yep, total green light to snag whatever her heart craved. Hilarious thing is, our dude wasn't always this chill. In his past life, zero patience for tiny humans. But snagging the OG Dojin's memories flipped a switch. His frozen ticker actually started beating again. Seeing how he treated his half-sis made him want to vibe the same. Now he's obsessed with spoiling this cute bean rotten. Finally, Yoon grabbed a plushie she vibed with. Just a teeny, fuzzy rabbit. She was super humble about it, but Dojin wasn't having it. He snagged a massive toy, like, quit holding back. Treat yourself kid. He didn't want her stressing costs. Zero worries. Later, they smashed some serious grub, but mid-feast, a random voice crashed the party. Yelled his name, and it waddles a lady with a goon squad. This walking calorie bomb looked like a total Karen itching to start drama. Immediately roasted his drip, calling his fit a disaster. Then she, shamelessly, pivoted to Yoon, implying Dojan was a player who knocked someone up, just like his own mom did. Total low blow. Dojin was secretly losing it. But poor Yoon was clueless about this lady's yappin'. Then the witch glared at Yoon and demanded her name. When she cutely said she, Lee Yoon, the trashy lady, realized it was his. Didn't stop the old bat from throwing more shade though. Mocked her outfit too. And yeah, this psych even trashed their dead mom. Dojan was about to snap. Weirdly, he kept his cool and didn't explode yet. Even the hag looked shook. He wasn't biting. But nope, this tubalard had to push it further. Had the nerve to ask a kid if she knew what harlot meant. That was the final trigger. Dojin fired back, calling her a nasty goblin-faced orc. She froze, totally glitching out. Brain went straight to blue screen. Here's the tea, though, not just a rondo. Dojin dealt with her for a reason. See, Dojan started as a broke, illegitimate kid. Mom passed when he was just 7. Dragged himself to his dad's. But it didn't improve. Dad's new wifey and kids treated him like trash. Got hellish when stepmom popped out a real son. Ignored, ghosted, and finally booted from the house. Stuck crashing at his nan's crib with his halves. Looking back, Dojan just felt bad for his past self, taking all that trash. smiling through the pain like a chump. But yo, game changes right here. Turns out this ogre-looking chick was actually his step. That's why he chilled before. But nah. Patience officially 0. He recalled rooming with this hot mess, express still gross as ever. Her vibe, totally toxic. Face like a goblin and brain, smoother than a marble. Dojin took the gloves off. He roasted her life, calling her a walking insecurity complex. Dissing others, looks just to cope with her own self. At her core, she, just a clout-chasing leech obsessed with everyone else's biz, and Dojin put her on blast. So the whole mall heard every savage burn. Shoppers stared like they were catching live drama on TV. Stepsis was losing her marbles, shaking with pure rage. Then boom, the stepmom enters the chat. Goblin girl ran to mommy, whining about the roast like a salty toddler. But check this, too. Everyone's shocked. Even stepmom looked sick of her crying. Silenced her with one icy stare. No cap. Bro, stepmom had major villain energy. Definitely not an orc like the kid. She gave off that sharp, lethal boss vibe. Turned to Dojin grinning, fake nice like she was a saint. Asked him over, acting all sweet about quality fam time. But Dojin wasn't buying that garbage. For a second, she was the architect of his childhood hell. For 12 years, she pulled the strings on his misery, masking her evil with that fake angelic grin. Her words dug up trauma he wanted dead and buried. Seriously triggering stuff. Face frozen, voice sharp as a blade. He dropped. Get that out. That line hit harder than a total slap in the face, getting owned by her old victim. Shook, she spun around and stormed off. Pride in tatters. Never expected him to clap back so hard. Not after years of him taking her random slaps in silence. Her bratty kid followed, tail tucked. Bodyguards trailing behind like lost puppies. Those guards were basically statues watching their bosses get cooked. Alt, right? Pan back to our guy. Those drama queens totally wrecked his vibe. So, he dips immediately. But here's why he was so icy. He needed to send a message they couldn't miss. That old version of total NPC energy, who couldn't even roast someone back. His trash tier fam seriously needs to download the update and get with the program. Smash cut to a fancy Mercedes zooming down the street. Inside, the toxic twins, Mommy Dearest and her bratty mini-me. Daughter's fully crashing out, throwing a fit, whose mom didn't clap back at She is tweaking, dragging Dojin, for embarrassing them in 4K. Meanwhile, mom asks the driver, Mr. Clean, why the heck Dojin isn't unalive yet? Bald guy is sweating buckets, totally lost, because the intel was straight up wrong. He's panicking, but Mommy Monster is not vibing with his excuses. She starts screeching, yelling about the fake news they got fed. Like, how is Dojin even online when he was supposed to be deleted? Poor Chrome Dome stutters, swearing he'll double-check and actually finish the job. Meanwhile, the trashy daughter is sitting there, eyes popping out, shook to her core. She didn't know mom was plotting a literal Grim Reaper moment. She is freaked out, hearing all this unaliving talk like it's just tea time gossip. Then mom hits her with a jump scare. Do you have a crush on the little piggy gots? All glitchy and red. Spoiler alert, it's not a romance arc. She is just terrified. If grandpa or dad finds out, they are getting grounded for life or worse. But mom has zero chill left. She grabs her face, mutes her, and tells her to stay in her lane. She is focused on one mission, deleting Dojin, mainly because he dared to roast her in public. In her head, game-ending him is the only way to win. Dojin's cruising, thinking about how mana changed the whole meta. Those shiny rocks are the new Bitcoin, replacing all the boomer energy sources. Every single country started, thirsting over these rifts, fighting to loot the resources inside. Now, the whole world revolves around this dungeon system. Industries, power, even staying alive depends on these gates, and people are wild enough to jump in. Being a hero isn't just for class, it's about securing the bag. Want cash? Get good, and start slaying. Anyway, Dojin arrives. He's at the Yongdongpo capital spot. Sounds like a boring office, but just wait, you'll see why he's here. The second he walks in, the vibe is totally Le Bougit gangster movie. The boss and his greasy minions are trying way too hard to look scary. But Dojin, total chill mode. Zero stress. Boss puts out his sig, asking how Dojin has the audacity to beat his crew and then just show up. Bro seriously has no clue. Dojin is totally unbothered by their little tough guy flex. Dojin pulls an oh no reverse, telling the boss he's the real loser here. Bossman is shook, scratching his head, asking what the heck that means. So Dojin keeps it 100. He is just here to secure the bag. After all the trauma and wreck stuff, he wants his payback in cash. Hearing that, the big guy finally clocks a major vibe shift into it. Gone is the softy. This new version screams danger. It ain't just the saltiness either. Seeing him wreck those minions earlier said it all. Boss suspects Dojin leveled up inside a rift or something crazy. But the dude stays cocky, regardless. Acting like a total troll, He says that ego will get Dojin clapped. LOL, imagine thinking that. Typical villain move. He signals his angry gym bros to jump scare They look buff, but honestly, to a survivor like Dojan, they are just NPCs to it. Boss keeps yapping that even awakened peeps end up deleted, like all those trash tier heroes. Best part? This clown actually thinks Do is just a weak D rank they can squish without sweating. Meanwhile, Dojan just gives him the death stare and says with a straight face, I am not finished speaking. One goon tries to be a hero and steps up to fight. Big mistake. Dojin coolly removes his specs, confusing him. Then he unleashes a legendary nuclear knuckle sandwich 9000 right to the dude's grill. Bro got yeeted into the wall, leaving his boys completely shook. But wait, the beatdown is just starting. Dojin wrecks the whole crew, dropping another guy effortlessly. He is literally lecturing them while rearranging their faces. For real. Mid-fight, he exposes their fake loan shark business casually. He swings at some ginger kid, spilling tea on their fake ID scam like it is gossip. After landing that, Dojin tells the boss he wants a legit hero ID to officially get paid. He dodges the last guy and hits back 3 times harder. Boom, everyone is napping thanks to a special combo. 100% snooze fest. Dusting off Dojan demands a high-quality fake ID right now. The boss sits there, totally glitching out on how his squad got folded in under a minute. Dojin reminds him, 24 hours to bake that fake ID tick. Big respect to the goons who stayed frozen during the fight. Unlike dumb NPCs who try to solo bosses at level 1, these guys value living. Meanwhile, the boss is having a massive mental breakdown, sweating buckets, trying to gauge this kid's power level. He figures Dojin's gotta be beat here at the absolute lowest. Guys zoning out so hard Dojin has to physically poke him back to earth. Bossman stammers, yes, but just as he relaxes, Dojin grips his shoulder with the sweetest grin and death stare combo, asking if his wicked stepmom reached out. And bingo, that is 100% true, proven by her shady chat with the daughter and sidekick earlier. Boss freezes up until Dojin squeezes hard enough to make him squeak. His minions just watch awkwardly, while their leader cries like a baby. Honestly, they need to fire stylists too. Finally, the boss breaks and sings like a canary. Turns out the evil stepmom wasn't just plotting. She wanted to drain his bank account so dry that he would be forced to delete his own save file just to escape the debt. Yeah, that is some twisted trash. Total villain behavior for a mom. Dojin absorbs the info, then drops the shivering boss. Amid the sobbing, he asks if she also ordered the gate trap. The boss instantly switches to total inessimo, swearing he had zero part in that drama, even claiming he gets zero cash if Dojin game overs inside. Honestly, protecting the bag is a pretty solid alibi. Dojin starts connecting the dots. He whispers Kankowu, the jerk who lured him in there. He demands full doxing details on that guy by tomorrow. Orders given, Dojin exites, totally changing the vibe from his entry. With all the chaos said, and done, Dojin gets lost in his feels again. The OG Dojin just wanted to protect his sis and gran, no cap, and with all the garbage thrown at him, it just makes his solo carry struggle even sadder. But now, the sword god is unfolding. He is ready to wreck house and fix the timeline. Next day, our guy gets his rank license. Pretty clutch, actually. Unlike those cringe stories where the hero starts at F rank for drama, he skips the noob grinding stage. He scans his card, and the system beeps valid but throws a red flag. His level is way too low for the raid he wants. Super annoying. He wonders if he should have flexed harder, just enough to get in a rank and skip this bureaucracy nonsense. System's screaming, don't do it. But Dojin's totally ghosting those red flags. He just yeets himself inside. So, here's the T. On this Night Island map, it's labeled Barank, but that's a total scam for average players. You basically need to be smurfing a tier higher just to survive. Size-wise, it's Durank, meaning massive and sprawled out. Nightmare for Soulless, but the tunnel layout is kinda clutch for him. Even so, with how huge this place is, they wreck a ranks only. But danger, Dojin left that unread. Absolute worst case. He just throws hands with a mob of creeps in these super cramped hallways. He's grinning when he spots a giant purple glowing nope rope. Normal people would panic, but he thinks it's a blessing. Knuckles cracked. Spoiler alert, the snake brought the squad. Their tongues look straight out of a sci-fi nightmare. They tried to aggro him, but big fail. Dojin goes beast mode, deleting them and grabbing loot like it's free. These black killing vipers have insane stun mechanics. One hit and even pro players get in. Knowing that, he launches himself like a human missile. It goes ham, shredding the mob until it's sliced into guts everywhere. Time for a quick fit check. His 300,001 gloves are actually blocking the toxins. He locks on to 4 more danger, noodles and speedruns, red stuff, sprays, everywhere, as he sends the Viper to the Shadow Realm. Fight done. He goes looting, for mana stones, but finds zilch, literally nothing. He figured though, the drop rate is a trash 3%. To get paid, he needs to grind hundreds more of these things. Walking on, he spots a creep he dubs Mr. Bonehead. Looks like the boss, but Dojin's pressing X to doubt. He trolls the giant snake, asking if it's in charge, like they're brothers. But seeing this absolute unit is actually good news. Means no more walking around looking for action. He rushes in, trying to speedrun the fight, and bounce. But then the vibe shifts. He lands a heavy hit, but the monster takes 0 damage. Basically, just gave it a temporary tattoo on its forehead. While he's stuck in mid-air animation, the tail yeets him into a wall. He slams hard, realizing this boss isn't playing around. The beast shows off its toxic fangs, hisses like a hangry X, and goes for the chomp. Dojin clutches the dodge and counters with a massive haymaker. This time, the hit actually lands, seeing hairline fractures web across the shell. Then, it hits him. This boss monster's skin is stupidly hard, miles above the trash mobs from before. Nerfed like this, he can't one-shot it. Vibe switch. Time for a new strat. Prime Dojin would have smoked this scrub instantly. But right now, nope. Wait, what's that? A rusted blade left by some poor dead guy. Time to prove why he's the sword god. It's junk, but Dojin grabs it. Skill beats, gear, hype levels maxed, and a busted rusted sword. He squares up. The noodle zooms at him, crazy fast. Dojin leaps, yelling, "Be honored, I'm trying." In a few blinking moments, he turns the snake into sushi. Fight over. Cue the blooper reel. Snake flops, sword turns to dust. Rip, big brain moment. Unlike typical MCs, he snaps a fang. DIY dagger project. Calling it his prize, he bounces out the gate. Outside, pitch black, stars are popping. That Barranca raid took forever. But hey, now he's pumped to get his powers back. Glad the OG squad didn't see him like this. Total cringe fest avoided. Loot bagged, Dojin hits the shop for cash. Line's busy. Some dude is flexing his drops. Right on cue, the stingy clerk acts toxic, demanding a 40% cut. Even this happy, chill hero smells the scam. He claps back, saying he's gotta eat. Clerk gaslights him, claiming it's a steal. Gate center is 5%. But wait, that's lame excuse. Scammer claims it's easy, fast cash. Hero takes the cash, but asks about his mess up mug. Dude lies despite looking like roadkill. He goes, "Some psycho beat my guards and wrecked me." The hero blames him for hiring cheap security. Real talk, skill beats rank every time. Bro drops some serious knowledge. Same rank don't mean same skill level. A napping NPC guard ain't comp to a guy slaying beasts 24/7. But even with that real talk, clerk's just thinking, "Brr, zip it and leave." Hero takes the hint, dips yelling, "HMU, if you need help." Dojin breezes past him, totally icy. Desk guy glitches out screaming, "That's the psycho who wrecked me." Hero spins back, Loki impressed, checks his fit, like, this skinny legend soloed the guards. Dude gets all hype, asking if Dojin's the menace causing drama. Gotta rate this guy though, he ain't extra. Legit thinks Dojin's using cheats to bully Nor. He's clueless, but at least his vibe check passed. Desk dude is living for the tea. He knows this vet's been grinding for 7 years. If it flops, he can cancel Dojin in 10 departments instantly. 0 questions asked. Dojin stays frosty, tells the boomer to kick rocks. That clapback triggers him. Dojin looks totally toxic now. Dojin asks if he wants smoke. That pokes the bear. Hero's salty, but not an idiot. PvP with a hero is straight RNG with your life. Fatality rates are higher than boss rate. So, he chills and dips. Clerkish. Dojin asks the slimy appraiser if he's got beef. Before bro can glitch out a reply, Dojin drops a thick bag of magic gems. Esther Loot makes Slimeball wonder who this gigachit is. Crunches numbers, 150 million. Big bank for most, but Dojin's daily grind money. Wants the bag, but scammer says, tax first. Fam gets a death stare till he recalls the 1% deal. Simmers down, says gimme the rest. Inside scammer's head, he's picturing a Kaio and Dojin, but that's pure delusion. IRL, he says, boss needs to sign off on that much bread. Dojin hates lag, tells him to get permissions ASAP. Guy calls boss, whispering like he's leaking spoilers. But Dojin yoinks, the mobile, skips the intro, tells Big Boss to pay up right now. Boss is surprisingly vibe about it. Says K, pass the phone. Dojin's like, bet. Then oops, eats the phone at the wall. The receptionist stands there like he just watched his dog die, staring at the smashed phone in horror. Dojin doesn't even flinch, just calmly tells him to cough up the dough now that they're square. So, Mr. Scammer has to pack up fat bags of cold, hard cash. By the end, the dude looks like life kicked him in the teeth. Don't pity him, though he's been ripping off heroes, risking their lives for peanuts. He's not the Victim, he's the trash. 10 minutes later, the boss storms in, fuming cause his guy ghosted him. Plot twist. The receptionist already peaced out. Dude rage quit on the spot, like, nope, I'm done with this. Then the boss spots the phone. Embedded in the wall like a rage quit masterpiece. Message received loud and clear. Boss wastes zero time, calling Ruyan to get her butt over there ASAP. Now Ruyan wasn't just some rondo, she's a total stunner anime hair, killer outfit, looking like a cover model. Crowd went feral when she showed up, screaming like pop fans. Our girl was getting the VIP treatment, and honestly, she rocked it. She walks in, and the staff nearly faints from the glam. Flashes a pro smile, and says hi, but she wasn't just there to look cute. The city loves her, cause she's the number 4 S-class hero. Yeah, major league status. Rumors said she's the boss's niece, and she just confirmed it. She said her uncle called her to handle some reckless hero acting up. Curious about the drama, the S-ranker sits down for the tea on this disaster. Next scene, our boy is meditating in the sun, abs on full display. Hunted all day, but the loot was total garbage. The way things were going, he was getting pretty stressed. Goal number 1. Get buff enough to solo S-rank 8s. Gotta rebuild his old stats. Yup, it's training arc time. But mana here is super weak compared to home. Even with his best effort, it'd take 3 years to hit his prime. Maybe longer if things go south. Better gear helps, but it costs millions, and he's not blowing cash. Suddenly, he gets a bad vibe. Senses danger, and locks onto Yunyong instantly. Grabs the kid immediately and rushes everyone inside. Seals the room tight, while Grandma grills him with questions. Bam! A huge tremor rocks the house. She squeaks, asking if it's an earthquake. Yunyon's flipping out. But Dojan knows the scary truth. This isn't just a quake, the vibe outside, totally savage. A portal just tore open right above their roof. It's wild. Knowing the deal, he yells at the fam to hide. It's way too gnarly out there. Then bam, he sprints straight for the portal entrance. Before vanishing, the last thing he hears is his sis and Graham screaming his name. Cut to the hero HQ, where everyone is freaking out because a rift just popped up out of nowhere over the Mappo district. After 63 quiet days, another one hits. Seeing the White Lion Guild is closest to the spot, the boss says to buzz them ASAP. Get the nearby heroes to handle this mess now. But looking closer, they realize the rift is right on top of a house. That makes it super sketchy. If some random civilian wanders inside, they are totally toast. Whereas it locks after one person enters. No backup. If they die, a monster wave hits in 10 days. That means total chaos for the region. That wave would be so massive, all of Seoul would be in serious trouble. The boss asks, who the heck? When in turns out, it's the homeowner. See, Graham says he jumped in there just to save the fam. So the staff figures he's not a pro hero, which makes it worse. A regular dude surviving a rift. Yeah, right? Impossible. This bums the team out hard. They feel helpless and hopeless, knowing it's basically game over. Next up, Dojin's evil stepmom is raging hard. After hearing he leveled up, she is shook. Her bold lackey says, yep, he's got powers now from that last gate, even without the badge. This makes her mad, because Kong Ko-woo was supposed to end him. Instead, the kid got buffed. She slams the table. Why isn't he dead yet? Can't you do anything right? Plus the annoying fact, they paid cash for a fail. It just drives her crazy. She'll blast manager Lee and text Kong Chulu, a nasty threat. Kill Dojin or owe me 10 times the cash. Don't mess this up. But wait, her assistant drops a plot twist. Maybe we don't need that hitman guy at all. He spills the tea about the fresh rift right above Dojin's crib. Since he went inside, he's basically dead meat. No way he survives. Hearing that, she's thrilled. Finally, chills out and fixes her face. She tells her little lackey to just keep watching until they get more news. Meanwhile, our boy just stepped into the danger zone. Not just some random woods, but the exact hangout spot from his childhood. It's the Padua Forest, basically remastered in 4K resolution, down to the last pixel, exactly how he remembers it. Even the thick magical vibes in the air feel totally legit. Strolling down memory lane, he grins when he spots the massive world tree. That thing is leaking pure energy, basically the anchor holding reality together. Actually, the whole apocalypse scenario started when this tree got toasted, which totally wrecked the magic flow forever. But in this glitch dimension, it's pristine, not a scratch on it. No clue why it's safe here, but he's not complaining. It's the perfect chance to juice up his missing power levels. He parks himself under the energy waterfall and starts buffering his strength. Dude literally camps out in that spot for over 3 days. No snacks, no hydration, just total focus. Blink and 10 full days vanish while he syncs his breathing with the mana. But on night 10, the party crashers arrive. Some creepy aliens called the Vakina roll up. Ready to go pyromaniac on the tree again, like it's a rerun? Not this time. As they charge, Dojin kinda wishes he had a hydroblade to chill them out. The fiery monsters scream and rush him. Too bad he's fully charged now. Who needs a weapon? He is one. Those hands are rated E for everyone. He flicks his wrist and gravity slams a creature into the dirt. The other guy freezes. That move? Classic mana release. It's not mind control, just a raw energy explosion. He hasn't flexed that skill in ages. Mostly because his battery was low. But the Vikina aren't quitting yet. They decide to spit concentrated laser beams from their mouths. Lasers incoming, and he doesn't even blink. His aura just eats the damage like it's nothing. Powered up, he steps forward. The tree is safe now, which means it's playtime. To try to fire again, so he grabs their faces and clamps their jaws shut. The blasts backfire and pop their heads like balloons. They drop dead, spawning to shiny magic stones. But he's just starting. Dojin is loving this, unlocking a new cheat code called the Eternal Ember. Smirking, he shreds through the rest of the mob, slicing and smashing, farming mana stones like a pro gamer. It's a total stomp. By the end, he's drowning in loot. He spots a rare dropsome glowing golden seed thing. That's the Eternal Ember right there. He grabs it, crushes it, and absorbs the spicy power boost. He's giving off major Sukuna vibes with that casual swagger. Usually, the smart move is camping under the tree for mana, but his body is maxed out on passive charging. Option B, chowing down on that ember raw, turns his mana spicy. He goes for it, obviously. Now he's glowing like a human toaster. Past life, he totally ghosted these things. Didn't care. But now it's key. Takes 10 minutes to snack on one. Good thing he hoarded a whole stash of M. Gold Binji Magic Fire. The rift is trending hard now. Paparazzi are camping at Dojin's crib, and suits are locking the whole place down. Bangu's raging cause some dude yelled into the rift. Dude looks like a budget anime protagonist. Literally just found a blue-haired couple. Jinhua, Kim Hun-woo. Here actually guessed why Dojin bailed. Did it to save his sis. Mad respect. Swangu ain't buying it. Calls Dojin a selfish drama queen. If he'd just kicked the bucket outside, fine. But dying inside, that's a monster buffet. Chaos. Hun-woo asks Gilma, yo, thoughts? Gilma's all, stick to the rules. Bro, but Hun-woo isn't having it. Lists, rifts, everywhere. Was? China, UK global, mess. Too many portals. Gilma's brain is frying. Not exactly a normal Tuesday. World's chill, but Korea's doomed cause of one guy. Sue wants to drag Dojin out and deck him personally. That purple gate? Chillin' for 28 days. Dojin's been stuck there just as long. Hero Association tagged it a level 1 threat. Big yikes. They're keeping Dojin's name hush, calling him civilian, while the world stays clueless. But one shady loan shark boss figures it out. His mignon spills the tea on Dojin and Kim. Boss man Huang Chang so gets super interested. Wonders if Dojin comes back in one piece. No, not the pirate treasure. Guys, Minion says a normie has less than 1% survival rate. Changub smirks at normie cause that dude absolutely wrecked his crew. Hospitalized, all. World's sleeping on him. Changub checks awakened odds. Assistant goes. Depends on their level. Boss, can't tell without the stats. Changub knows rifts ain't just fist. It's hard. One thing's sure, Dojin's the same old beast. Chang talks about protecting the fam, but he's lying. Plan, if Dojin croaks, he's selling the fam's parts. Dark. If Dojin lives, this dude's totally scamming him with fake help fees. Basically, he's a total leech. Cut to the shiny magic tree, where bro is grinding XP hard. He's lit with fire mana. Zero clue what time it is. 8 tons of fire rocks. Now he's a total firebender, controlling flames. Easy. Plus, he's basically fireproof. Looking back, he's leveled up way past his noob days. Hugging the big tree, having a moment. Tree's a real one, helping him stash all that mana. Even DIY DA vine bag. Loot secured, might be goodbye to the holy tree. Still, he hopes they link up again if it's in trouble. He'd fight to save it. Honestly, super chill vibes. That night, Dojin exits the rift, alive and well. Weirdly, it's a ghost town. They probably think he's toast and monsters are coming. But then he senses some crazy energy nearby. Snooping around, he spots 2 familiar dudes. Hyun-woo and Sunu, one's salty, one's chill. They're fit Scream Association. Bad news if seen. Thinking fast, he eats a fireball up. It smacks a building and goes boom. The boom freaks him out. They rush to check the fire. They pull up to a crowd of shook randoms. Sunu's yelling, asking what the deal is. Dojin's watching, hyping up his own aim. Wonders if Tusk, the top fire mage on the server, would be proud of his epic level up. Suddenly, Hun-woo gets a weird vibe. The rift glitches out and deletes itself. They sprint over. Shook the portal is 404. Dojin sneaks off. To the next spot, easy peasy. Next day, The Maple Rift is trending news. It poofed 29 days after went in. So, no monster apocalypse. They got zero clue why it bailed. Also, everyone's confused about that random fire. So now, most people think Dojin's dead and he messed up. But nah, he's alive, lurking, and laughing. They were big sad over his fake death. Rip. But Dojin's salty. The rift shut tight. World Tree access denied. Big L. But he's got other loot to guard. Cut to HCS City. Vibe check time. Inside, those clowns partied cause Dojin gone plotted to easy clap his gran and sis next. Classic Chong. So, dude leached folks dry. Zero chill. One creep plotted to groom the sis. Total trash behavior. While they ran their traps with zero filter, a wild voice asked for the main op. Meanwhile, Chong So hummed it himself, vibing like he had zero worries. Sure that Dojin was permanently Aide checked his she-you. Empty except a CEO lunch date? That hyped him? Already dreaming of the club tonight, lit. All chill talk till he stepped inside. Mood shift? Going up, he saw a total horror show. Yikes, his goons got tossed like red sauce everywhere. Standing mid, the dude he thought was unalive. Dojin floored him. Crawl like a pup, he iced. Brutal vice shift. Press Chang shook, while Dojin stole the boss seat. King stuff. Zero hesitation. He said it again. Chang, dying of cringe, crawled on all fours anyway. Dojin said bark. He let out a weak woof. Not done yet. Made him bark more. Treated him like an NPC, just like Chang did. He noted how trash mobs like him, simp to your face, then snake you when you turn. Then, icy cold. Said he's farmed plenty of noob trash like him before. Chang begged and capped about loyalty. Dojin was done. Slapped him into next week. Dude hacked up red. Turned to the aide. You're promoted. He dubbed him the new CEO. Stop following this loser, he advised. Then the vibe check. Told him to unalive Chang and clean up. But the aide paused. Big yikes. New old boss was plugged in. Feared this promo would flop hard. Begged for a pass. Dojin wasn't here for the drama though. Instead, he said to toss Chang's carcass in a drum and yeet it to sea. Typical mob cleanup. Dojin switched strats. Said he'd toss him in the gate as mob chow if they didn't listen. Chang snapped. Game over. Cried, begged, promised to simp. Forever, no more betrayal. Dojin paused. Kuda ended the drama right there. But he changed. Versus his old self, he's gone soft. Dojin extended a hand, looking totally chill about it. Changjio probably prayed this was a truce, hoping to stay off the naughty list. Psych, the second they touched, his hand got roasted like a marshmallow. Dojin has absolutely zero chill. Looked him dead in the eye with a final system alert. Then, no hesitation, he turned that hand into extra crispy tenders. Dojin dipped, ignoring the dude's whining. Total boss move. Touch his fam again, it's an instant game over for the whole crew. Protecting his squad isn't just a side quest anymore. It's the main storyline. That's how you handle snakes. Technically, Dojin ghosted the server the second that rift closed. Plot twist, bro is literally smashing burgers at the local fast food joint. Meanwhile, the government and the hero. Squads moved on, like he was a cringe tweet from 10 years ago. They assumed the rift deleted the poor guy for good. Even if he respawned, nobody would care. Honestly, chasing clout after soloing a rift is just messy. His minion Huang is out house hunting, so Dojin can finally rot in peace. He even treated his lil sis to some greasy goodness. Said they're moving up to a better map, and she was beaming. She can finally go to school like a normal NPC next year. But mentioning school killed the vibe instantly. Dojin panicked. He fights raid bosses, not kid feelings. Turns out, kids were roasting her for having no parents. That news hit Dojin with maximum emotional damage. But if she wants to dodge those toxic haters, fine by him. Karma's coming. Knowing she can bail on that toxic place had her hyped. Dojin's already scheming to get her into a bougie private school where nobody dares throw shade. Later, he found out Kim stashed grandma in a motel while he was away. That four-eye clown almost snapped his spine bowing, making excuses about company suites. Dojin was too tired to flame him. Just walked in to see his grandma. Yunyong clung to him like a koala, grandma crying happy tears. She was just glad he didn't get deleted. Dojin froze up at first, but the love melted him fast. Since sis is obsessed with burgers, they're basically living there now. Today, she started grilling him about the hero life. Asked if she dug having a hero bro, and she gave a hard no. Heroes are cool, but they fight creeps and usually die young. She just wants her big bro to survive and vibe with the family. Dojin is used to slaying, so being loved feels totally sus. In his old glitchy server, he was the last player standing, soloing nightmares and losing it all. But in this bonus round of life, something epic just spawned right next to him. Emotions he thought were donezo are totally creeping back in. Just maybe, he can finally unlock that chill, peaceful life achievement. Meanwhile, the Korean hero squad is straight up imploding. Enter Taiwan, the big cheese of Korea's Hero League and boss of the world fed, Loki losing his mind over a rift that ghosted them. His MVP squad scouted the zone, but came back with zero loot. Bro is mega triggered not knowing what's going down on his turf. Honestly, a rift that yeeted itself away could totally respawn at any second. His aide tried to chill him out, saying a monster wave might be better. At least then, they wouldn't be stressing over mystery drama. But Tawang muted her fast before his blood pressure spiked. Yeah, he's stressing, but glad nobody got wrecked. Taewang isn't some random NPC. He is top 100 worldwide, a total legend. If he ran for prez, he'd win the vote by a landslide. No cap. His clout is insane enough to topple empires if he felt like it. Luckily, he doesn't vibe with that power-hungry billionaire life. He just wants peeps safe. Straight up, he's built different. He wants that rift zone double-checked, no matter how long it takes. Locals already agreed to sell their cribs to the guild, so that's handled as a thanks for the headache. Taewang's gonna pay them way over market price. Least they can do after a rift crashed their hood. News says rifts are popping off globally right now. Something's sus. The US and China are handling their drama. Out of the big players, the UK took the biggest L. Pros are clearing maps elsewhere, but the UK squad is trash. Speaking of, their month-long grind to clean up the UK rift was an epic fail. The wave started, but people are moving like it is. Just Tuesday, CO Dojin is blending in, strolling to his shop. The second he entered, the clerk said hi, then froze, realizing who it was. Every hair on his body stood up. Pure terror. That black-haired dude, literal nightmare fuel. Thank God the boss is in, so he's not solo with Dojin. The manager looked up, his voice dripping with salt. This is a guy selling trash crystals to his poor clerk. Dojin lazily yeeted his backpack to the floor. Sweet. Owner's here. He can sell his loot fast and dip. The owner braced for more trash loot to spill out. He wasn't in the mood for bargain bin trades. Doja ain't gonna be ignored like some noob though. He came to play fair. But getting ghosted, major vibe killer. Bizwaz, a 1% cut is a joke. No sane boss takes that L. Ideally, the kid dips with his drama. Not happening. He straight up said rejecting him was a mistake he'd hate forever. Bossman swatted him like a gnat. Ignored the bag. Big mistake. Last warning? Bruh. Dojin booted the pack. Loot spilled everywhere. They froze hard. One peek, and they knew. Total jaw-drop moment. That raggedy bag? Stuffed with hero magic crystals. S-tier loot. You can't just buy it. Dojin knows his worth. He knows this. Stash is straight fire. So, this drug lord got a crystal and cooked some wild stuff. Then one night, lab went boom. Total chaos. Dude woke up hero mode. Suddenly, that Gloric was the ultimate hype. Now it's legendary for leveling up. Straight god-tier loot. Flexin' hard, Dojin told him to pack it up and dipped. Boss did went from rude to simp instantly. He rushed Dojin to the VIP zone. Free drinks flowed while the cashier shined. The gems Dojin loved. The switch up went from outcast to king. Now he's sipping drinks like a boss. Offered full price, 0.5% cut. Boss stalled. Dojin threatened to bounce. Harbaugh, usually cool with 1%, but now he's being petty. Owner tried bowing and faking a sob story. But Dojin wasn't buying the fake humble act. Deal or no deal. Cashier was raging silently at the counter, hating his cocky attitude big time. Tricks failed, so the boss got serious about market prices. Dojin was over it, slammed his cup. Boss panicked, sensing the L incoming. Panic mode. Managers started shouting commission rates. 9, 8, down to 5%. Profits were toast. Right when the dude broke, Dojin pounced. He said yes to 1%. For the lols, owner wanted to rage quit, but needed the loot too bad. Then Dojin dropped a bomb. He has 7 more bags of this insane loot stashed. Manager nearly wet himself hearing that. Contract signed. ASAP. Done deal. 67 billion hit his account. Cho-ching. That's $48 million. The 110 billion pad is close. Only prob. Grinding for these rocks is a total time suck. If he could just glitch into rift zones whenever, he'd be grinding loot harder than a caffeinated demon. Eyes on his phone. An emergency alert popped up. Official wave outbreak warning from the southern UK. Travel ban engaged. Reality check. Brutal. Dojin scrapped the plan to flex on the owner. Oldham would have soloed that rift. No questions asked. But that guy's gone. He's got real life to handle. Dinner's on Dojin, and we're talking fancy meat. Tiny Yun drooled over the sizzling marbled beef. Premium cuts and bougie sides kept hitting the table like an endless food challenge. Grams eyed the bill, panicked, and asked if we're okay. 250,000, one for a snack. He shrugged. After his last crystal haul, they could feast on this daily, and his wallet wouldn't even notice. Yun took a bite. Boom. Flavor from another dimension. Dojin kept throwing cuts on the grill like he was feeding an army while Grams Loki, stressed out. Just when she realized, ribeye, it was getting ridiculous. Straight up wild. 2.5 humans versus a mountain of meat. But Grams underestimated their appetite to kill the panic. Yoon begged her to eat. Can't say no to that face. One bite. Sold. Budget panic vanished into thin air. The family ended up having the most wholesome, over-the-top feast ever. Pure joy. While Dojan soaked in vibes, a scene stealer walked in. Heads turned so fast necks almost snapped. Everyone tracked her walk. She beelined to Dojan and called him out. Zero chill. Said she wanted a quick chat. No biggie? But Dojan shut her down, cold for crashing family time. She could spill the tea after they finished eating. Henju played the Do You Know Who I Am card. Spoiler alert, it flopped. Dojan kept grilling like she was a ghost. So, the S-rank icon had to go wait like a normie. With a superstar chilling in plain sight, she was obviously the main event. Everyone whispered, she wasn't just the nation's number 4. She was top 10 worldwide for looks. 2. People were mentally screaming the same thing. Who the hell makes Yoonju wait? Ignoring the noise, she replayed that convo in her head. Rumor has it, guy entered his first dungeon barely 2 months ago. He survived, and now the gossip is, he unlocks superpowers. Everyone swore he was toast after that Maple Rift mess. But nope, here he is, breathing and feasting with the fam. Glitches aside, the thing that actually shook her was the death stare Dojan shot. Freaked her out, and she's a newbies don't hit max level in 60 days. No way. Even Calf Moore, that moneybags oil baron, who practically bathed in mana gems, took 5 months to hit the level cap. Jujan did the math. Guys gotta be spamming some secret cheat code nobody knows yet. Anyway, Dojan, Gran, and the Tiny Tot, Yoon were totally blissed out on a food coma. Juyeon strolled to the exit, hyped to finally chat up Mr. Mystery. Before she could peep, some Rondo struts in, acting like the main antagonist. Dojan's gaze turned lethal the second he clocked the intruder. Greasy Slime Bucket looked shook, seeing Dojian still breathing. Turns out, it was Psycho Kong Kalu from that nightmare dungeon run. The jerk seemed way too amused by Dojan's unkillable cockroach vibes. Even Juyeon flagged him as bad news immediately. The vibe in the diner crashed. Dead silence. Dojan brushed off the weak trash talk and waved Dojan over. Totally chill. Kalu lagged out seeing an S-tier hero hanging with the bug. Dojan simply asked her to babysit his crew for a sec. Just hail a cab to get them to safety, while he dealt with this stray dog. Luckily, Juyeon has a brain. She stepped up, telling Gran and the kiddo it was all Gucci. She waved them off, but their faces screamed panic. Juyeon stood there feeling awkward as the cab dipped. Then, SMACK. A crisp slap echoed through the room. Fam gone. Dojan dropped the nice guy act instantly. Speed hack engaged. Kawu didn't see it. Just felt his face catch fire. Humiliated and raging, Kawu charged in for a counter. A waiter tried to intervene, terrified the supers would wreck the shop. Her polite pal Stop got answered with violence. Thankfully, she didn't take massive damage. Dojan cleared the lobby, calmly. Kolwoo was tragically easy to troll. Dude's a brute with zero wit. So, he ate another knuckle sandwich. Invisible attack? Just felt Dojan's fist redecorating his skull. Kong Kolwoo is the chicken who left Ojian to rot in a dungeon. Even if this Dojian wasn't the victim, he inherited the beef. That ugly troll needed a tutorial on respect. Kawu, looking like a goblin, thought it was smart to snitch on the evil stepmom's plot. Total clown move. But hey, easier intel for the win. Dojian whipped out his mobile, hit record, and let the dummy app. A 4K confession makes future quests way easier. Then the idiot crossed the line. Dojan caught another whiff of Kowoo's trash attitude. He hyped himself up, insulted Dojian's mom, and went full beast mode. Bro actually thought he was going to secure the kill this time. Delusional. Too bad, Dojan said. Nope, his energy control was actually cracked. He blocked that wild swing effortlessly, bouncing the fist back like rubber. That clown was clueless. He usually just spammed attacks without thinking. Not today. Dojan was built different, and it was obvious. One chef sent Chelwoo flying. Dojan stalked him like a cat with a toy. Fists met face. The waitress tried to dial 911, but a hand swiped her phone fast. Ruyang smiled, telling her to chill, she'd handle the mess. Just seeing her confidence calmed the panicked girl down instantly. Meanwhile, Chelwoo was getting folded. Slaps. Hits. No time to breathe. Ruyang thought the scrub was a B-rank hero. For that rank, he was getting owned way to his. Dojan was speedrunning the fight. Honestly, it looked unfair. Before he finished him, Ruyang yelled for Dojan to stop. She worried the guy might actually expire. Dojan decided to chill. He dropped the goon and dusted his hands like it was nothing. Ruyang, sensing the beef, asked what he knew about Kong Cho. Dojan didn't know everything, but he knew enough to ruin the guy. She warned this. Walking L had S-rank backup, but Dojan didn't care. She was shook. Never met anyone this reckless. He gave zero flips about S. She said the S-ranker simps hard for his trash cousin. This little cafe brawl would definitely reach the big boss, and heads would roll. Dojin remained big names didn't scare him. He was just annoyed she knew his business. With the scrub code, his annoyance shifted to her. Dojin stared her down, his wild energy still buzzing. She didn't flinch though, stood her ground like a total boss. Switching gears, she apologized for the pop-up and explained why. Uncle sent her because Dojin sold some rare magic crystals. She wanted the rest of the stash. Money wasn't an issue. Dojin said it had cost a fortune though. He had the goods, and Ruyang brought the bank. Being S-rank, she was loaded. Dojin was down to sell. Just one small rule before they shook on it. Elsewhere, the sound of pricey bottles smashing echoed. Dojin's evil stepmom is crashing out over news. Her stepson is alive. Her minions swore the kid was toast in that rift. Now she hears Dojin survived like a cockroach. Nightmare fuel. Press F for the henchman. Her rage must be terrifying. Can't blame him for the mistake though. Even the Hero League said Dojin was gone, but she wants zero excuses. She wants action. Stat. To top it off, they heard Dojin just wrecked Kong Cha-woo. Avi Dujin knows who put the hit on him by now. Hearing she might get busted, stepmom freaked out. Dojin doesn't scare her. She's just worried daddy or hubby will catch her acting shady. Hushing it up is easy, but if news leaks, stocks crash. So she told her squad to gag the press. One slip, and the big sponsors pull the plug. Step 1. Bribe the cops. Her minions are on it. Knowing they aren't total idiots helps. Then Baldy whispers that cover-ups are just band-aids, not a cure. But wait, the bald boss might have a fix for this whole mess. Time to use Kong Ko-woo's sketchy cousin, Kong Yong-pil. Even stepmom knows that Kalu is hero trash, but he's tight with his OP cousin. Basically, Ko-woo's just a goon doing his cousin's dirty work. They're both totally twisted. If cops grab Cha-woo, the S-rank hero looks bad too. Actually, he's already spinning the PR nightmare. Stepmom made a choice. She needs to sit down with Yong Po. Plus, that Snake Hong Chang sided with the enemy. He's guarding Dojin's. Get Prosecutor Park on the line. Now, traitors gotta pay up. Next day, heroes hit one of Korea's 37 rift zones. 5 of those are secure gates. Now, the rest, only scheduled guild heroes allowed inside. Today, Miss Hunru Jun is bossing the squad. Her S-rank cart is basically an Alex S-Pass. Amidst the geared-up pros, one dude rocked a dusty hoodie. Yoon picked a mid-tier guild for this run. Rolling with an S, they're totally stoked. She claimed she just wanted a fun workout. Real talk, she set this whole scene up to sneak hoodie guy inside. Dojin traded his crystal stash just to get in. He just wants to rack up cash in high-level zones. Sure, loot is great, but diving into danger like that, crazy. Whatever, she doesn't care. She just wants those magic crystals. Minutes later, they left a tunnel and hit the woods. Inju couldn't help being nosy. She kept pestering Juyeon about the mystery guy tagging along. Jian claimed he's just a friend, but nobody bought that weak tea. Inju bet he was actually Queen Juwan's secret boyfriend. Sick of the nagging, she spilled a little tea. Fine, he's here, 'cause I owe him one. Happy? And Eswak owing a favor. That's rare loot. While they yapped, a huge shadow blocked the sun. Everyone looked up, and yikes, monster alert. Like pros, the R-rank squad drew weapons and got in formation fast. First boss, a nasty Guildmaster Inju panicked. Just my luck. Barely inside and already facing a headache. Before the squad could even get ready, Dojin tossed his bag. While Wan shouted, "Bro launch like a missile." Total speed freak. One jump, and he matched the bird's height. He owned the sky instantly. His aura was blazing hot. That giant chicken was too slow to dodge. BAM, max power punch to the face. Bird down, boy up. Talk about flipping the script. Dojin landed. Didn't even break a sweat. Monster's code. Fist print stamped on its beak. The guildies in their carry just stared, shook. Then things got super brutal. Dojin started stomping the bird's head into jelly. Overkill, maybe, but these birds are tanky. Crunch, splat. The squad looked ready to barf. Now Inju really needs to know who he is. Truth is, even Wan's clueless. Just knows Dojin is strong is an understatement. He's broken. Only top tiers can pull off moves like that. One-shotting a cockatrice is insane. Wan shrugged, comparing him to her elite sis. But Inju's mind is blown. A secret boss is right here. She watched the beatdown, totally mesmerized. Jujan noted his crazy power and zero chill. Intrigued, she hit Inju with a new plan. I'm taking Dojin to the center. You guys stay back? Wan walked up while he looted the corpse like a pro. Before she could say hi, he cut her off. No loot for lead. I soloed this. Luckily, Juyeon doesn't care about spare chain. She just wanted to invite him to the hard mode zone. Smirking, he was down. to raid the place and grab some epic loot. Jujin knew the map, so she took point. Dojan just had to stick like glue, so he wouldn't get lost. Boom, she blasted off, breaking the sound barrier instantly. Dojan just chilled, watching her turn into a dot. He adjusted his pack, struck a pose, and charged up. One step, and he triggered a massive shockwave that nearly yeeted the guild. Inu thought, if she's a bullet, bro is literal lights. Dusted by the pros, the extras looked to their boss for a plan. Chasing those speed demons. Yeah, no shot. Today, they're just NPCs and side characters. Still, plenty of trash mobs around to farm X. Normies simp for a ranks, but S ranks make them look basic. Jujen, mystery guy are just built different. Meanwhile, the speedsters were tearing up the forest. She kept checking her 6-4D. Nobody there. Figured she smoked him too hard. Just as she thought of chilling, he popped up. Can we speed this up? She gagged and nearly never had anyone flex on her like that. Actually matching her pace? Insane. She stopped too nationally, but he's humble bragging hard. He paused to roast her for being slow. Savage, while the gasped for air. He scoped out the horizon. Huge mountains pierced the sky ahead. Asked what's inside, and her vibe got dark. That's the lair of the boss. It's a 20-meter dragon wyvern nightmare. She didn't even want to think about fighting it. You need 3 S-rank DPS mains to survive. But Dojian knew this mob. Drop some imaginary grade loot. Basically, with that bling on the line, he's all in. Juyan was like, are you crazy? No. Too bad he's soloing that dragon regardless. She watched him YOLO up the mountain. Guess she had to follow his crazy butt. Doom awaited them in the boss room. Taking on a raid boss solo was zero chill. She was totally shook. The plot twist? She got there, and the boss was already on a lot. Match is over, and homegirl is legit buffering. Totally clueless about the glitchy madness that just happened. Bro yanks his blade out like it's nothing, leaving her speechless. She's shook. That mob he deleted wasn't some basic trash enemy. She brings up Parka Heil, a famous sweat known for raid boss and casino. Even though he is top tier S rank, his first run needed 30 A rank noobs as shields. But even with that, crazy squad, the Alisters got wiped instantly. Total party kill. Parko is the sole survivor of the group who Barry escaped the server wipe with 1 HP left. Dude held a grudge and queued up for a rematch later. Round 2. Armed with another S rank and 100 heroes. Literal Zerg rush. At that point, the battle was insanely sweaty. They focused fire on the wings to ground the beast. The boss got spammed with skills until it crashed. And that is how they finally secured the dub against the Still, only a few players survived that raid. The rest got absolutely wrecked by the beast. The loss was so bad, Heil's clan hasn't recovered in 3 years. Yet this random NPC-looking dude just soloed the boss on easy mode. Funny part, while she's staring, he roasts her for AFK farming while he did the work. She is triggered, sure, but mostly just stunned by this guy's cheat code vibes. If she didn't see it live, she would call hacks. That nightmare boss got one-shotted and deleted by a single guy. Absolute madness. Dojin just loots the shiny magic stone like a pro. He looks at it, telling her he doesn't need a babysitter. He is riding solo from here on out. He leaves the claws and teeth behind. Too heavy. Ignoring the loot, he ghosts her off her, leaving the S-ranker shook. He just wants to grind for those sweet monster crystals. He even lets her keep the rare drops as a carry fee. Jian glances at the mob and decides she is good too. Sun is down, now, and the squad is tripping over his 3 bags of stones. Totally unreal, even for the pro rankers to farm that much loot. Takes them 20 hours, or 3 days for that quality. Makes you wonder who this Smurf account is. They stare at Juan, the inviter, who looks just as lost. According to him, the guild mask is shook that Dojan clapped the Kassarian with 0 gear. That dub alone puts him at the peak of Korean heroes. Dude is unmatched. They're basically like, bro is built different. The ranker bets he's global top tier. Totally Speaking of, a wiped Dojian drags in more loot bags. 1 day of grinding, and his inventory is full. The squad knows nobody's gonna believe this cap outside. Dojin's op hacks are straight up insanity. Anyway, they're strictly told not to spill the tea on today's raid, which they gotta accept. The haughtiest ranker slides over to chat up. They totally look like a couple. That's vibing, but that's just the squads. P.O. Guess they're manifesting a ship here. They figured he's the only dude alive who's a legit match for Jian, given their crazy stats. LOL, the ranked GM realizes her ship is sinking fast. Instead, it looks like they're beefing based on those faces. She's shook that a guy can actually roast you. Then Dojan just hands her a bag and ghosts her. The guildmaster is even more confused. As for the loot haul, Juyan spills the beans. Turns out, Dojin is terrified. He'll go viral if people find out so he dumps the credit on her to dodge the clout. Hearing that leaves them totally speechless. The irony, the whole situation ends up sparking Juan's curiosity about this mystery dude. Meanwhile, over at a different spot, we check in on that famous Park Hyel is going beast mode on a punching bag. His assistant is shook by his rage-fueled training. Like I said, he's the sweet life guildmaster. The aide calms him, saying, chill vibes, pay off. Even the guildmaster vibes with that, knowing haters will eventually catch these hands. Soon, everyone will simp for his power levels. His assistant goes on to hype Hyel's Kassarian streak, which makes him the GOAT who beat Kassarin with the tiniest squad. The GM hypes himself up, flexing his achievements. But low-key, their guild has been suffering, taking massive L's, compared to 3 years ago. Still, he's grinning cause only he can wreck his Cyclops butler agrees. The cam cuts to Yongpyo's office. He's skimming a file on Dojin's wild night and how he absolutely wrecked his cousin. Cha Wu meant to trap the dude inside the gate forever, but plot twist. Bro awakened instead. Plus, the client ordering the hit. Actually, director Hong Haiju, basically Korea's richest woman. Weird, she'd pick a specific target in front of Yong. That's until he finds out Dojin is her. He joined the fam at 7, but once Haiju had her own baby, Yeet Dojan got booted. This cracks Yong up. Even rich kids get kicked to the curb, huh? Talking cash. He finds out the payout is 3 billion won. Pocket change to him. Also, Cha Wu is barely alive after fighting Dojian. Total crispy crisp. What's even worse, he's totally blind now. Lights out forever. Dojin is so savage, even Yongpo has to respect the hustle. Still, Yongpo loves that he would have gone full cyclims off, skull crushed. Thought he was nicer than his cousin. Nah, he's way more toxic. While chatting about the fight, someone mentions Hyunwon was there, helping Dojin out. Yongpo digs for info. Why's Dojin so special? Sadly, his assistant is clueless about their meetup since it was hushed up. Super salty, Yongpo grabs a lackey and screams to find the tea on them, betting that they might have some secret deal. The terrified assistant bolts to investigate Ace. Yongpo rages, smashing stuff. Haiju's goons will want him to finish the job. At the same time, he's stoked to take her money. She's crazy rich, so this greedy dirtbag is all in. Cut to our boy heading home post. After today, he's glad he farmed a rift instead of a gate. It gets messy though, cause he needs Juan to stay under the radar. Remembering their chat, she told him straight. Folks will get suspicious and ask who killed the leaking that info equals big trouble. Her plan? Stash the loot. For now, if he wants clout later, she'll happily leak the news then. Bro tossed her the bag so she could hoard the goods. But relying on Juan is messy, so he needs a new rift hack. At least he'll sleep like a log tonight since Changab hooked him up with a totally bougie crib. But he steps in, and way too many shoes at the door. Looks like unwanted guests crashed the party. Walks in to find Suits and their boss grilling his fan. Dude looks like a sad Nanami cosplay, eyeing Dojin like a hawk. Yoon sprints over and clings to him, terrified. Dojin's just like, the heck? Prosecutor Park flexes his badge, calling out the link between Dojin and Chang. Since they're buds, Dojin gets interested for rolling with that corrupt loan shark crew. Just letting the drama unfold, Dojin quietly surrenders to this shady bust. They quickly cuffed him and tossed him in a drab holding cell. Inside, he hears some snooty voice yapping on a cell nearby. The prosecutor's telling someone they're acting like good boys. Before dipping, the cop thanks the guy for funding his kid's study trip. Busted. Then he slips up, dropping Hong's name. Dojin heard that, strutting back to the quiet prisoner. The suit rambled about why he became a hero of justice. Cringe. Said he always wanted to separate trash from decent folks. Slams a thick stack of papers down, and the slime ball shows off all the dirt he dug up on Dojin. Claims the charges from their little dig are enough to lock him up for 10 years. Yeah, right? Plus, they got enough snitching to sink the whole ship. Dojin didn't even flinch at the weak threats. Zero reaction. Since he got ignored, Mr. Lawman started cursing. Dojin cuts in. Is that jerk? Hong Haiju, pulling the strings on this lame prank. Suit panicked but shouted a denial, swearing he never even heard the name. Liar. Dojin figured these crooks were already in Hong's pocket. He played nice to chill, but things are getting messy fast. Trying to act tough against Dojin's vibe, the cop bragged that guys like him aren't soft. So Dojin leaked some killer intent to shut his goofy mouth. Dude nearly wet himself right there. Felt that glare in his soul, straight up game over vibes. Embarrassed he got spooked by a kid in cuffs. Dude wanted to act tough and smack the daylights out of him. Before he made a fatal error, an intern saved his butt, asking for a quick chat outside. Turns out, Dojin's file was glitching with some wild info. The building's hero scanner read, the guy is a total normie. Even after a double check, same result. Despite the chaos he caused, make it make sense. Maybe he wasn't a superpowered awakener after all. The prosecutor's source was Haiju's Gossip Squad, so he thought it was legit. Dojan was a total mystery. How do you charge a regular Joe with superhuman crimes? Inside, Dojan was roasting the lawyer for being a total clown. He could snap those toy cuffs and wreck the building if he felt like it. If things went south, he'd grab Grams and flee the country and skip the whole Hulk smash option. Then Jian strutted in, suit on point, looking sharp. Probably heard about the bogus arrest and came to snoop. Dojan was like, why am I here? Honestly, no clue, bro. Luckily, she told him to chill and not do anything crazy. She was the only one who knew this guy was a walking nuke. Annoying situation, but punching stuff would just make it worse. Jian didn't plan on playing lawyer today, but she knew Dojan didn't do whatever they said he did. Seeing an innocent dude getting framed right in front of her? Yeah, she had to fix that. She figured the Hero Association would start snooping soon anyway. They'd find his fake license and look into the Mappa Rift drama. Dojan asked how the fam was doing, and she felt like a secretary under his intense stare. She sighed, gave in, and promised the fam was safe and sound. Walking out as his lawyer, he yelled, I owe you one. She played it cool, but kinda liked that he needed her help. She swore to fix this mess fast, and she wasn't joking. Her strategy wasn't just playing nice and proving he was innocent. Nope, she exposed the prosecutor's dirty laundry and got him fired. With that creep gone, the investigation went smooth as butter. Dojan was cleared of the loan shark drama and other stuff. But he couldn't dodge everything. They caught him on the fake hero license. Obviously, thanks to her skills, he just got probation. Score. On the ride home, breaking news popped up about it. The radio blasted news about some fresh nightmare wrecking England. They described a giant mantis-looking creature, 5 meters tall with bug eyes and crazy jumping skills. Dojan instantly named it a Macation, nearly making Jujin crash the car. New monster info is supposed to be super classified. She only knew about it because she's an elite S-rank hero. Monsters don't get named by some random dude throwing darts. Dead ones drop magic stones loaded with secret data. If you crack the code inside that loot, you get the monsters, full bio, real name, and all. Earth peeps use fancy tech and science to check it, but our MC's busted up homeworld used magic. So Dojan's basically a walking wiki for monsters from both sides. He knows their names and all their dirty secrets. He casually drops that red flower ant juice beats. Safe for humans, but it totally paralyzes those giant bugs. Just spray and pray. Duion suddenly got real quiet though. Everything he says makes him more sus. Who is this guy? She grills him for answers, but Dojan stays zipped up tight. Honestly, his brain is somewhere else entirely. He's busy plotting how to delete his future headaches. His best idea? Just take out that witch Hong Hai. Speaking of, Director Hong is stressing, chewing her nails off. She's panicking, trying to figure out how to handle the stepson. Since that S-rank girl got involved, the pressure is on, and her assistant is totally useless. They dug everywhere but still have zero clue. How the heck Dojan knows a top-tier hero like that? Tick off an S-rank, and no amount of cash saves your butt. But what really freaked Hong Haiju out was the report. Dojan tested as a normie civilian, not a hero. But looking at the shady stuff he pulls, IT's obvious, the kid awakened some crazy power. He probably hacked the detector or masked his vibes. She's burning cash fast and only getting guesses in return. Furious, she finally caved and called up the big gun. S-rank thug Kong Young, she offered 30 billion to end it. The moment the goon picked up the phone, he got greedy and demanded double the cash. Even his minions thought 60 billion was totally nuts. Kang's a scumbag, but he's a smart scumbag. He knew Hong Haiju was desperate and out of moves. Plus, her company makes so much dough. 60 billion is basically pocket change to them. Also, he's charging extra for the risk of fighting an S. Double the cash. Now we are talking. Minion agreed. Hunuyon is bad news. Boz got salty hearing props for another pro. Said he would wreck her in 20 mins flat. Minya nodded fast, scared for his life. Creepy grin on Yampo flipped to Hero Biz. Cutting deals before jetting to UK for bug duty. Total bummer for Yonkbo, the Essos is being cheap. Plus, those jerks leaked the hero draft. Guilt-tripping S-rankers into saying yes. Yang is a thug, but they are way worse. It is showtime in 3 days. Korea sending top tier, plus Japan's crew. Takashi meet. Zero clues on Macasian's weak spot yet. Finding that info would skyrocket anyone's fame to the moon fast. Speaking of, bugs are hitting Cambridge. Brits fighting 24/7 to halt the swarm. Got a solid squad together? It is UK, so lots of sword users. Frontline is struggling versus one big bug. Mantis one-shots. Finding their groove, Brits hit back hard. Balanced team, actually pretty cracked. Some blasted magic too. Ripped that thick armor apart. Others rushed in, spilling bug juice. Teamwork made the dream work. Killed one bug, beheaded it just in case of phase 2. Brits finally caught a duck, but one beast drained them dry. Total bummer. More bugs popped up to jump the tired squad. That night, total party wipe. RIP UK's best tried their hardest against fate, flying blind with no info. They got wrecked. Bugs heading south. No. Cambridge defense just crumbled. Only 60 clicks to London left. Bugs pushing London. Glowy raindrops. Liquid hit, and bugs, spasmed in pain, resisted a sec, then dropped like flies. Poison wrecked their systems, making claws useless versus bite. Look up, the Rainmaker appears. A heli stalked the mantis swarm, keeping a chill distance. Packed inside were Korea and Japan's top-tier hero squads. They were totally shook that Enro's basic hack actually worked. That red ant sap, OP, the Macassians couldn't handle it. They basically turned into glitchy, useless shell. Kang stood there, thinking, no shot, she just guessed this, snapping the crew out of their days. Enro yelled to dive and wipe the floor with M. Hyped on their S-rank queen, they nosedived to save the UK. A few days later, the whole world knew the T and who the GOAT was. Back home, the paparazzi and stands flooded the airport, desperate to see the national icon. Reporters were thirsting for a scoop on Enro, the top hunter. She literally carried the whole UK trip, found the glitch, and led the raid to the finish line. She straight up saved a whole country from a game over. Rumor is, the royal fam even begged to thank her personally. When she stepped out, the crowd and cameras went nuclear. Like a legit A-lister, she was totally used to the hype. But even for her, today's fan service was kinda insane. Then there's Kong, taking credit for fragging most of the Macassians, even though he just stomped perilous. Their whole hero squad was like 200 people deep. The UK is still on the map thanks to the Korean team carrying. The news leaked the raid strats, including the ant sap hack. Strolling downtown, our boy S caught the broadcast and hit pause for a sec. Glad she used his info, but seeing Kang's face killed the vibe. That smug jerk on the screen is a loose end, and he needs to be dealt with.